commander Napoleon, the Italian campaigns. It's the year 1796. I've set up this game by Dan Versen and for the 1796 campaign. We're at the very beginning. As you can see, France, or Napoleon rather, holds Nice at this stage. He's got quite a lot of troops. These are the only French troops at the moment. They are all in Nice. We have the Piedmont forces here in Savona. We have the Austrians over here in Genoa. And Mantua has 2 sets of fortifications and garrisons as per the special rules. We also have enemy garrisons and fortifications in Klagenfurt up here, and in Milan up here, and in Turin down here. Now the objectives of the game are marked by this particular counter. So basically we have Mantua, Genoa, Nice, Turin and Milan, and Klagenfurt as the as the relevant objectives that the French need to get. In order to win, they have to hold at least 2 objectives from the end of March 1796. Until the end. So basically at the moment they're holding 1, so if we hold another then we should be fine, but then of course we also have to hold it. It's not enough to just, be there. We have to hold them and also ensure that we fight back the onslaught, because as soon as French forces enter Lonato over here, or indeed Mantua down here, the Austrians get plenty of reinforcements, whereas the French get none. So they get this stack, which is quite sizable. So the French go first, and what Napoleon's going to do is he's going to get into Turin. Now Turin only has 1 fortification and 1 garrison and no ground forces. So they have a combined level of 9. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending in 27 levels of forces so that we can envelop this, so that we don't have to fight. So let's see, 27. 10. 10, 17, 20, 28. So we're going to move these in here, and then we're going to roll on the fog of war table. So I'm going to place this here to show that these have moved. So I roll a 4. The enemy has 8 supply points, so they have to give me 4. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So the actual roll is an 8. Transfer 2 of your supply points to the enemy. We do not like this, so we transfer 2 of mine to the enemy. But seeing as this is an envelopment, we win this battle without fighting, so we are done. Very good. So now the French need to make the next decision what they want to do. Now we have a couple of things that we could do. We could move into Savona, which I did on a previous playthrough. Unfortunately, that ended in total disaster, because this stack here is actually quite powerful. So I have decided, because this is my second try on this, not to do anything at the moment. So I'm just going to hold. my forces. You don't have to move. You don't have to move. So now it's the French. Sorry, now it's the enemy. Or we could also do a forced march if we wanted to, but we're also not going to do this. Oh, we might actually do this. We are going to move troops into Milan. And we're going to fight this garrison over here. So now, how you fight is you actually use the battle mat that comes with the game. So I'm going to move the camera for this so that we can all enjoy this. The forces are all lined up. As you can see here, this is the French approach line. This is the French front. The enemy does not have any mobile forces, so they only, in inverted commas, have the garrison and the fortification, which is actually not such a bad thing to have. So let's get going. First of all, we roll on the fog of war table, which is a 10. The enemy has to spend 2, I think. Yeah. 2 supply points to bring it up to 12. Oh, and this means that we actually add 1 garrison to the battle. It's not so good. And we only have 2 battle turns, which is also not very good. So now what we do is we add battle plans. I get 1 battle plan and the enemy gets 2. So first we draw 2 battle plans for the enemy. So this one doesn't apply, this one does apply. Yeah, we get 2 that don't work because these guys cannot have battle plans because they're stationary, but we get the officers. All enemies get a +3 on activation rolls. That is not good. Now I get to choose one of my battle plans, and I am going to I actually don't have any that... Okay, I'm going to use flank. Okay, so now the French roll. Now we have to check how fortifications actually operate. I think that they can actually hit everything. A garrison always performs a fire or combat battle plan if there are opposing forces in its same or adjacent region. So the garrison isn't going to do anything. The fortification always performs a fire or combat battle plan if there are non-melee combat opposing forces at range 1 or more. Unfortunately, there is something missing in the description, but this is how I read it. So the fortification will roll. Let's roll. It rolls a 9, so it doesn't activate. Now we need to try and see if we can move. We advance twice. There is no... well, actually we have to roll a 5 or less. And we roll a 9, so this one doesn't activate. We roll a 5, that one doesn't activate. We roll a 9, that one doesn't activate. Okay, so nothing happens. This is very bad because now we are on the second... we've only got one more round, and then there's the withdrawal phase, which is not really good. So everything goes back into the cup. We draw no battle plans, but we might get something else. No. No. So let's try this again. Flank. Let's see if we can activate the fortification, and it doesn't activate, which is good. So first of all, we're going to activate this one. 1, 2, advance. Next one, 9 does not activate, 10 does not activate. So that's pretty much it. We are now in the withdrawal phase. Now that is quite a horrific outcome, because now we have to roll on the withdrawal. And we roll a 6 on the withdrawal table, and this means that the French retreat. Now let's see. Okay, that's not so bad. French retreat means return the enemy forces to the campaign map's battle area. Destroy all French static forces, we don't have any. Return the Napoleon counter and all the mobile French forces to one randomly selected French-controlled or uncontrolled area adjacent to the battle area. So we're going to put them back into where they came from, into Turin. Now that was bracing. That wasn't a very good thing to do. So now it is actually the enemy's turn. Now what we need to do is we need to do the French resupply phase because now the French have finished their turn. So we gain 3 supply points for each French held city. So we get 6 supply points. And now we can spend supply points to either refit our forces, which we don't have to do because we haven't lost any, although our move into Milan was a disaster. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be buying static forces. So because Turin does not have any fortifications. So what we're going to be doing is we have 7 supply points, and we are going to we're going to spend this on the following. We're going to buy 1 garrison, which has the value of 5. We're going to put it into Turin. Oh no, actually we're going to buy a cannon because they are quite powerful. And we're going to buy, so that is 4. And we're going to buy 2 recruits for the value of 3 in total. And we're going to place this recruit force over here, and this recruit force we're going to put in here. So this means we've spent our supply phase markers, and now it's the enemy turn. So the enemy now needs to work on what the orders are for each of these stacks of 3. So basically how this works is you divide all of the forces into stacks of 3. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try and, although it doesn't really matter, at least I haven't seen anything in the rules, I will keep forces that are together. So if somebody has the same name, I'm going to keep those together. So here we have these, and there's always stacks of 3 plus 1, or whatever's left over. So we will start in Savona. Here we've got 2 stacks, so we're going to start with this one. We're going to roll 3. We have 4 supply points, and if you have 4 to 5 supply points, you have to spend 2 on each roll. and then add 2 to the roll. So this one gets a roll of 5, and this means random. So they may advance randomly. So we're going to assign 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, so they're going to move into Marengo. Next one is a 1. We have 2 supply points left, so they have to add 1. So that's a 2. They move toward the enemy held objective. So how this works is you move the group on one area toward the closest objective that is held by the enemy. If the enemy does not hold any objectives, blah, 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 blah. If there are no, blah, blah, blah. So basically, yes, they move towards the closest one. Now they are not stupid. So they will move to the one that has the fewest forces. 9, 9, 11, 20, 26, 32, and here we have 4, 15, 16, 21, 26, 33, so they will move towards this one. And this will ensue in a battle, of course, so they will have to fight this out. Now the next group over here rolls an 8, needs to spend 1 supply point to turn it into a 9. And that means towards the nearest French held objective, so they're going to move here. Next one, 5, random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8, so they're going to move into Mantua. This group on a 9 will move to the nearest French held objective. Again, they're not stupid, they're going to move to the one that is less problematic. And now we have this 1 force left, and on a 3 they will hold, so they will stay here in the garrison in Genoa. Which does make sense. So the Genovese fortification isn't completely on its own. So what's now going to happen is we're going to now enter into battle over here. So these 2 will attack all of this, which is going to be interesting. So again, we're going to move to the board. Enemy forces have been placed. Now we do the fog of war. 8. Nobody has any supply points, so we have 3 battle rounds. Transfer 2 of your supply points to the enemy. Nobody has any, so that doesn't matter. Now we're going to check for envelopment. 8 versus 10, 16, 25, 29, 34. That is envelopment, so we win the battle automatically and the forces are destroyed. Brilliant. Now that was nice. Everything goes back. That was a really quick battle. Wasn't even worth setting up the battle map, but there you go. So now we finished all of the enemy turns. Now we're basically on the last part of the enemy turn, which is the enemy resupply. So, for each enemy held city, we roll. So the enemy holds Klagenfurt. On a 6, they get 1 reinforcement. So the question is, how does that actually work? Do they get it from the destroyed forces? Okay, yeah, so we're basically going to choose one of these destroyed forces and we're going to put it into Klagenfurt. For Mantua, I roll a 5, so it means I get 1 reinforcement. There's only 1 left. For Genoa, I roll a 6. Since there is no reinforcements in the cup, they get 2 supply points instead. So that's Genoa. Then we have Milan. And here I roll a 3. Again, this would be 1 reinforcement. They don't have any, so they get 2 supply points. And now they can spend those supply points, obviously. They don't have any reduced forces on the map. And this seems to be the end. Do they not get to buy forces? I can't believe that. Well, I suppose, well, they must be able to buy forces, because otherwise, you know, what's the point? So we're going to buy Okay, all enemy recruits would have gone into the reinforcement cup. So they could have drawn one for Genoa. Okay. And for Milan as well. Okay. Okie dokie. So I suppose that if they have money left, they could then buy static forces. All right, so now it's May 1796 and it's the second turn. And I'll leave it there and then I'll come back and we will play the second turn.